Speak up, reach out, go vote, show out. From your neighbor to city hall. Reach out, go vote, show out. Serving people is what it's all about. Reach out, go vote, show out. Frankfort Civic Proud. Speak up, reach out, go vote, show out.
From Capitol Halls to Bourbon Balls, this is the City of Frankfort podcast. For the Frankfortians, we're swapping stories, spilling tea, and celebrating the quirks that make the Kentucky's capital city the best hometown around. Welcome to the City of Frankfort podcast. I'm your host, Kenton. Everybody knows me. Summer's here, and that means backyard cookouts, family gatherings, vacations, fireworks, and plenty of time spent outdoors, okay? But it also means some seasonal safety risk that every family should know about. Today we're joined by Fire Marshal Marshall. It's actually Marshall Marshall. Crazy, right? From the Frankfort Fire Department to talk about home fire safety, grilling safety, fireworks, and other important summer safety tips. Welcome, Marshall.
Well,
Marshall.
I appreciate you having me, Kenton. So I guess I'm the first representative for Frankfort Fire at EMS?
I mean, technically, yeah. I mean, I did have Jason, who previously...
He was our chief. He was on Frankfort Fire for 20 years, but he's city manager now.
He's a different guy.
We don't claim him anymore.
He's a suit now.
No, he's over here at City Hall. So, yep.
I got you. But yeah, man, thanks for coming on and repping, the fire department for sure. Before we get into it, let's get to know you a little better. Did you always know you wanted to be a firefighter when you grew up?
Yeah, so that's a great question. Basically, growing up, like when you're little, you think, "Oh, I want to be a superhero. I want to be the police. I want to be a firefighter." But for me, like I started out working real young. I started in the workforce. Mm-hmm. I come from a pretty low income family. We started working. My brother and I were the first in our family to ever go to college. So I was like pretty determined on like, I just want to start making money and provide for my future. Yeah. And so after that, I took a class where I had to shadow some people, and I shadowed a guy from my church and a family member that were firefighters. And I was like, I could do this. This is like blue collar work that's hard, but you make a difference. So I was like, I want to be a firefighter. So I started applying. I got hired in Savannah, Georgia, and Georgetown, where I live.
Okay.
And I took the job back here in Georgetown, and 20 years later, I'm still doing it. But originally, I wanted to be a hypnotist.
You wanted to be a hypnotist?
I did.
All right, so let's flesh this out a little bit. Like, you like therapy, like hypnotherapy, or you just wanted to, like you...
Well, I'm really intrigued with the mind, and it was kind of like the therapy thing, but I wanted to kind of take that show on the road and just mess with people, kind of do the comedy side of
what's
things.
What's that guy's name that hypnotizes people? He does like a little show. I can't think of it. Not Chris Angel, but stuff like that.
There's a couple different ones that you can see. They're hilarious. It's really fun. They just kind of mess with people. It'd be kind of good.
So that's what because I didn't know, because some people, they want to do the hypnotherapy, they want to use that as
help you stop smoking and whatever bad habits.
I've seen there was one that they did a thing and supposedly it was supposed to help you lose weight. It did not work. I'm just kidding. I didn't actually do that. But I have heard of these things.
No, I mean, it was cool. I thought that was something that was really neat, but, I got into firefighting and I love it.
Okay. That's good. I mean, and I feel like that's a pretty common thing for like a young man to think about, like you said, to be a police officer, a superhero, a firefighter, a dinosaur. Young men want to do these things.
Right.
So that's awesome that you kind of figured that followed your heart and you wanted to make a difference in your community, and you chose ultimately to stay in your community and continue to make a difference, which is that's commendable.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome. So to kind of dive a little deeper now, tell us about the role of the fire marshal. What does a day in the life for you look like? Like what? Because people hear fire marshal, but I feel like nobody really knows what a fire marshal is. So can you enlighten us on that?
That is a very good question also, because it is, when I started this, I started with some old guys. Mm-hmm. And the fire service was different. And I was like, I want to ride backwards. which means basically when you're in the back of a fire truck, you're looking backwards, you're fighting fire. That's what you do. And I was like, I'm going to do this for 20 years. I'm going to fight fire. And, we didn't know what a fire marshal was, didn't care. And I was like, this is what I'm going to do. And as you get older, you start a family, you have kids, you start thinking about like, maybe I need to prepare to advance in my career, and I want to, spend more time with my family. You get more educated, you advance a little bit. So I started, I guess, moving through the department and promoting different things. And so as a fire marshal, it's kind of a catch-all. So the main roles as a fire marshal, I do inspections, pre-plans. I do any kind of new development renovation. So I look over the site plans. You and I work together a lot on things.
Yeah.
So our paths cross on developments. But then there's a lot of other things that I have to do. I am still a firefighter. I'm still an EMT. So I still have to keep up my training for my hazardous incentive. So I still could call to a scene. I get called to the structure fires for fire investigation. I am the only arson and fire investigator for the department.
Okay.
I am the PIO. So you'd think they'd find a prettier face than mine to get in front of the camera, but that's okay.
You're
so I do.
Pretty.
I appreciate that. I do the interviews. I run our social media website. I do a lot of our education. So I go out, I teach our department about public education, but I'll go out and I teach the public. I do a lot of our events, the schools. I love to go out to retirement centers because we don't want to just stop at like elementary school or, preschools and daycares. We want to continue on. So if we can teach in middle school and high school, and then we want to go to Capital Activity Center and go out there and continue to be in the community. So I go out and do all those kind of activities and events. So I don't know. I could continue to go on. There's a ton of stuff. The one thing I did want to kind of get a plug is I do work with Red Cross. We are a partner. So I go out and I install smoke alarms for free in the community.
That's awesome.
So these are the smoke alarms.
So what do people have to do to take advantage of that?
So we've made it pretty easy. You can go onto our website. You can just go to frankfort.ky.gov and then go and click on the Frankfort Fire Department page. And it's just go to how do I and pretty much fill out a form. There's a form that says, hey, I want a free fire extinguisher. I get that. I work out a grant every year with the FOF so that we get free fire extinguishers. We pay for them ourselves as fire department members with Walmart. We work on that. So we give those out. I go out. I teach fire extinguisher classes. We give those out. We get free smoke alarms. I go out and I install those if you fill out that form. If you want to do a fire station tour, if you want us to come bring a fire truck to your event, fill out a form. We'll come take care of it. So
it's just
streamlined.
It's pretty simple. Just fill out a form. Now, with the free smoke alarms, is it like a limit one per person? Is it?
Yeah, and that's a good question. So Red Cross I've been doing this for probably, maybe 9 or 10 years putting in smoke alarms. I've probably installed 2,500 smoke alarms myself. The cool thing is there's been a couple, and it's not tooting my own horn, it's just fire safety in general. We have had some actual documented lives saved because of the smoke alarms we've installed.
Oh, I'm sure.
And so there's not a limit per se. Red Cross asks us to put one per floor. I'm not very good at following directions all the time. So I'll come out and I'll put in, I try to limit to 2 or 3, maybe 4 if I have to. Yeah. But I want to make sure that my people are safe.
Yeah, no, and that's a very important thing, and that's a great thing that the citizens can take advantage of. Kind of talking a little bit more about fire extinguishers, or not fire extinguishers, but fire alarms, so that people kind of know what is like the recommendation. Like, so say you have a 2-story, 3-bedroom house. Like, what is kind of your thought process? All the bedrooms are on the upstairs floor. Like, what is kind of where do you need to have them?
No, that's a good point, because what happens is new construction, you can't pass code. You know, Wiggins will come out there and get on them. So you got to make sure that you're going to have one per floor. You're going to have one in every bedroom. But that's all new construction. Here in Frankfort, we have a lot of older residents. A lot of older homes. And that's why we've been able to take advantage of this program because we can go out there and make sure that these smoke alarms are updated. They're added into places that may not have one. Code has changed over the years from the 90s to the early 2000s. Some of those houses, you didn't have to have but one per floor. You didn't have to have one but outside of the sleeping areas. So like, we may go in and add one into a bedroom area or something like that. But they also, per manufacturer specs, they need to be updated. They need to be replaced every 10 years with the smoke alarms. So that's what we try to focus on, take care of. What's kind of crazy is when you go to sell your home or you've inherited a home or anything like that, you would think that in the state of Kentucky that you could have, you think that you have to have an inspection done. You don't necessarily have to have an inspection done.
You don't have to,
Right. And so there's no KRS that says that you have to have working smoke detectors in your home when it changes possession. So we come across a lot of properties that have switched hands and they don't have working smoke detectors, or they may have one and it's really old and it may not be working. And the inspector, even if an inspection was done, they came out and they just noted there was a smoke alarm. And so I had actually had legislation for multiple years now when I went up to the Capitol, and I got through the House, but I haven't got through this, the Senate yet. I'm still working on it, but I'm trying to make sure that smoke alarms are forced through. And it's a KRS that's saying that they have to be in homes.
Yeah, I mean, I think that seems like a very good, safe thing to do. This is kind of smoke alarm related, but maybe a little different. Because I know, I used to do some inspections on properties and stuff like that. And something that I found a lot of is back in the day, they didn't really require carbon monoxide detectors. And that's something that I've seen be a big thing. So do you want to kind of touch on that too?
No,
like who needs one? Like
that's a
what
good
they
point.
do, stuff like that?
Absolutely. So with that, it's funny that you bring that topic up because we were really trying to push. I didn't know how legislation works until I started pushing this a couple of years ago. And they were like, hey, let's not be too picky because I was like, hey, I want smoke alarms, CO detectors, all this stuff. But there's no ordinance, there's no KRS, nothing that's saying that you have to have a CO detector. Now, what happens is when you have gas in the home, you're going to need a CO detector. When you have wood-burning fireplace, you need a CO detector. So right now, there's nothing that's regulating saying that you have to have that to monitor those in your home. So the last session that we had here at the state capitol, we tried to present a bill. It didn't get through that said CO and smoke. But that's something that maybe on a smaller level, smaller jurisdictions, even the city of Frankfort, we could maybe get working on an ordinance, talking about that we could start with rental properties. Where, like you said, you do rental inspections. You had done rental inspections. We could go on that level and then use that to progress to a state level. But those are important because of, that's the silent killer. So you go into a home now, and if you're burning and you forget to close or open the flue on a fireplace, a wood-burning fireplace, anything like that, you have a car running in the garage and forget to open the door.
So lawnmower even.
Absolutely. So those things are very important. So if we could get to where we're checking those. Unfortunately, I don't have a grant. Red Cross doesn't provide CO detectors.
Okay, so it's just that.
They just do smoke alarms. But I did get a grant from Walmart, and I'm actually working on CO detectors. So you're kind of letting the cat out of the bag. I haven't told anybody.
Know that.
I hadn't told anybody yet.
No idea about this. I just knew that CO detectors are a big thing, and I know.
I agree.
You said it's a silent killer. It's one of those things that some people don't even know about, aren't even aware of.
I do fire extinguishers, and we've been able to give out, I think, over 300 now within the community.
Wow.
And I wanted to kind of transition into fire extinguishers and CO detectors because we get a big ask for it, and I don't have them. So, yeah, absolutely.
No, that's great. what are some of the most common causes of house fires?
So, number one, can you guess what number one is?
Probably candles.
Candles.
Yeah.
You'd be out with, you'd be like, man, I ain't got no electric. I need candles, or you just like it smelling good.
No, like just probably people just like it smelling good because I know people sometimes forget to blow their candles out.
No,
I know the
absolutely.
candles will burn all the way down.
Kenton be burning some candles.
I'm not
windows
a big
open.
I'm not a big candle guy.
I'm gonna check your office later.
You go right ahead.
No, so number one is cooking.
Oh well, yeah, I should have. Yeah, okay.
Because I know you can cook.
Yeah, I do be cooking.
I know you can cook.
I do be cooking the wood.
Not as good as me, but that's all right.
Yeah, that's fine.
So cooking number one. That's over 50%.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
But here's the thing with cooking. Yeah, it can lead to it's a high cost, a lot of destruction, and it's usually you may not lose the entirety of the home, but you get a lot of smoke damage. You get a lot of destruction in the kitchen, and it's usually an open space. But what happens is the cause of that is that it's complacency, and you're leaving that cooking equipment unattended. Gotcha. So, we get somebody starts something on the stove, or in the oven, and then these right here.
Oh yeah, get distracted.
And I'm not trying to be that old man because I get distracted. I got two phones, and we start something. We're like, you set a timer or whatever, but you don't pay attention, and you take a phone call, or you got to pay attention to the kids hollering in another room or whatever, and you forget that you're cooking something. So
that makes sense.
Cooking fires, it's the leading cause.
Okay.
But then you get into, you have electrical, and with electrical, what happens is you have people that are running extension cords, people that are trying to do they're self-electricians, people that say, I can run my own wires, I can do my own electrical work, and I get it. Times is tight sometimes.
Yeah.
So you don't have a licensed electrician come in, but what happens is you may leave wires to where they're not tightened all the way and they get a little bit loose. And if those are behind walls or unprotected, then we've got a fire that's hiding, and it doesn't run from you, but it is trying to get out. It's trying to vent, and it goes up.
Oxygen. Yeah, it's trying to
Right,
find
exactly.
oxygen. Okay.
So basically, then you get into colder weather, heating equipment.
Oh yeah.
Fireplaces. You got to get those cleaned out. You got to get portable heaters. Again, low income. If I want to stay warm, I'm gonna stay warm.
Yeah, you're gonna do anything you can to stay
Right.
warm. Yeah,
So
100%.
It's just things like that. Those are leading causes. But you can get into it. Kind of goes outdoors too, because then you get into fire pits and grills, and you got to be safe with that kind of stuff, and you got to follow ordinances. And I didn't write the ordinances.
Yeah.
I didn't write them. They've been here a lot longer than I've been here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, let's be real. Anybody that's grilled long enough, you've probably had a little flame up or something. I'm not saying like blow nothing up or nothing.
No, maybe a little melted siding or something.
Like a little something. So it's like I can't act like I've never been in that situation.
Right.
You have some drippings get away from you. It started a little grease fire right there. So okay, well that's cool. Speaking, I guess of cooking fires and stuff like that, I know a common thing is like a grease fire or something like that. Say you have a grease fire start off, and everybody's first instinct when you have a fire is to throw water on it.
Yeah. So when I do extinguisher class, if I have a big enough class and I've got the time, I like to do a demonstration to show that you don't mix water with grease fire.
Okay, so do not put water on a grease fire.
Y'all listen to him?
Do not do that.
Yeah. So what'll happen, you're just basically, you're going to spill the grease everywhere. You're going to make a bigger fire. And that's how a lot of times you could be cooking bacon or something on the stove, and you throw grease or water on that grease fire. And that's how you lose those cabinets, and it gets into the cabinets.
So that's that. A lot of this stuff could be preventable from getting out of hand. But then if you react in the wrong manner, then you can make the situation much worse.
Yeah, you're not helping that situation.
Yeah.
So what you want to do if you do have a grease fire, you're going to need to take that oxygen away, that heat source away. So if you can smother it. So you want to take something like if you have flour or baking soda or something and pour in there and you're covering it.
Okay.
If you have a thick towel right there, you cover over top of it, put the lid on it and then slide it off the heat source and turn the heat off.
Well, there
all
you
those
go.
things right there, now you have eliminated the oxygen and the heat source.
Perfect.
So you've stopped that. And then one thing I did want to say I didn't get to touch on, and when I do get a chance to kind of give some statistics, and I don't want to be bad about this, but like we had talked about cooking fires and we talk about structure fires, like home fires and smoke alarms, the importance of this stuff. Like statistically, when you talk about that, Kentucky we've done a good job on trying to educate our community and our people about this, but we are still behind the 8 ball. Like we still have, in 25, we had 35 reported fire fatalities. And 24, we had 46 reported. Those are reported. Unfortunately, our state fire marshal's office doesn't receive those reported deaths anymore and track them. We should, but those are reported. So, close to 100 in the last 2 years of reported fire fatalities. And we're double the national average, but nationally there's, close to 3,000 a year people that still die. And with the technology we have, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So to see the loss of life, and then in those fire fatalities within the state of Kentucky, the crazy part is 3 out of every 5 of those didn't have working smoke alarms.
Oh man.
And we can get those free for people.
And that's what take advantage of the program that Marshall's talking about. Have him fill out the form, have him come make sure that you have working smoke alarms in your home. And that's something, like you said, that's safety, that's important, that's stuff that's making a difference right now, and that's good. I'm so glad that you all do that. That's awesome. So I guess kind of moving on a little bit, do you recommend that like families have like a fire safety plan, or like what are some things that people can do to plan for if the worst thing possible happens and there is a fire?
Right. So when we talk about, like, you go to work, or you go to the doctor's office or anything like that, you'll see evacuation safety plans. And that on the wall, you see fire extinguishers, you see automatic door closers, all that stuff. And then you go home and you kind of forget all about it. And that's where you've got to remember that just at home, you can't be complacent. You can't forget that is the most important thing. That's where you have the most important things in your life. Yeah. Your family, your cherished belongings, all that stuff. So we talk about the fire safety plans. We need that in our home. So we teach that to the young kids. We continue to teach it up through middle school and high school. And every time I go out and I teach state offices and I teach commercial buildings and everything. I talk to them, the parents, about, hey, do you pay attention to your kids when they come home and tell you what they learned today? Go over those things. So a fire safety plan, let's talk about it. If you can draw out a map of your home.
Okay.
And put it in your kid's room and say, hey, this is your first way out through the door. If you can't go there, here's your window. This is what you do. Open your window and holler for help if you can't get out, or if you're on the first floor and you can't get out, and then set up a meeting place. So if you have a meeting place set up, if there's a big tree at the end of the front yard, if there's a mailbox at the end of the driveway, how to get out quickly. Don't hide. Don't go looking for mom and dad. Don't go looking for your pets. Get out, letting them know how to call 911 if they have a phone, or to go to a neighbor's house and call 911, say what's going on. But they need to get out and meet with you, and you know where to meet with them.
Yeah, okay. That's it. And man, I'm really glad we're doing this podcast, because I'm going to be real with you. That's something that I'm lacking on. I've got working smoke detectors. I've got CO detectors. I've got all that stuff. But as far as teaching, I have a son, as far as like teaching him, like, how do you get out of your room? Where do I want you to be at? And when you get out of the room, don't come, all that stuff. That's stuff that I hadn't yet. I mean, he's young, but I hadn't yet thought about that stuff. But I mean, I think that you're right. That's something that you got to start early and continue on throughout life. And, hopefully, so this is good. That's something I need to work on.
Hey, I get it. I mean, I'm the fire marshal, and I've been a firefighter forever. And I forget to go over this sometimes with my own kids in my own house because you're tired when you go home and you forget to go over these things and you don't think, hey, you don't think this is going to happen to me. And that's what happens sometimes with our profession. The public, unless they've lived it, sometimes they don't think it's going to happen to them. And I hate that for them because I think that same way sometimes, but it is scary and I don't want it to ever happen to anybody.
Well, yeah, of course. If we could avoid it at every situation, then that would be number one. But I mean, inevitably things are going to happen. So, like you're saying,
my job is to show up on their worst day, and I hate that for them. So it's important for us to teach them the best case scenario and the worst case scenario, because life is always the most important for us. And then if we can protect property after that, we absolutely will. Okay. But the smoke alarm, even that little thing. They get thinking, oh, it's just a bad battery or it's just a false alarm, but be like, hey, do you not hear that going off? What are you supposed to do? Get out.
And that's one of those things. It's like, man, I feel like the world is so loud these days, and there's always something. There's something grabbing your attention all the time. It's easy to overlook stuff like that. Or like, say you work in a building and the fire alarms are always going nuts in there, but it's always a false alarm and stuff, and you get accustomed to it. That is, that complacency, like you said that earlier, complacency, that is probably one thing that makes fire so dangerous is because we just get complacent about a lot of things. And
I have a question for you about fire safety.
Okay.
So I ask this usually to the older generation.
Okay.
You're younger than me. I might look,
You might look younger, but
we know that ain't true. But do you sleep with your bedroom door open or closed?
I sleep with my bedroom door closed.
Does your son's bedroom door open or closed?
Closed.
My man.
Compartmentalize.
My man. So, and that's why, I figured you probably did, because most of our generation sleeps with our doors closed. And we have our kids' doors closed.
Yeah.
But if you get older and older and older, a lot of the older generation, they had their doors open, their kids' doors open, and they've always stayed that way. And they were worried about, I want to hear what's going on in the house. I want to hear if somebody's breaking in. I want to hear my kids in another room. But what happens is if you get on Google and you search a fire with a door open and a door closed, even that hollow core, non-fireproof door will make a huge difference. You could have a room that's completely burned up and that door closed, and you open that door in that room, look like somebody just got a bed and nothing ever happened.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
That is crazy, but that's a good tip right there. That's a good tip. I mean, that's and that's the small things that people don't think about, and a lot of people don't think about that stuff. I mean, I work at City Hall here with I see firefighters all the time, so that is something that I have thought about and stuff, and that's something that I do, like you said, and younger generation. But growing up, like my parents, they still their doors open. When we were kids, our room doors were open because, like you said, they wanted to be able to hear. If we needed anything, they wanted us to be able to get to them quickly, which I understand that aspect of it. But when you talk about the worst case scenario,
but they're not going to get to you if there's smoke.
Exactly,
it's going to get to them, and that's the thing. And people, now people were like, "Well, my pet can't do this," and I'm like, "Hey, listen, your pet's not going to be able to do that.
Yeah,
you just shut the door." And I get it, I understand, but I'm just trying to look out for them.
I got you. Well, let's kind of switch gears a little bit here, and let's talk about some summer safety things. Frankfort residents love backyard cookouts. What should people know about grilling safety?
So, listen, everybody likes a good burger and a dog. All right, I grill out. I mean, it could be wintertime when we get a 60-degree day and my kids are like, "Hey, Daddy,
come on, throw it in there.
You gonna go grill out?" So, but you gotta use common sense, a little bit of safety. So, we can't have that grill right up against the house. You got to have that grill a little bit further away from the house.
Okay.
So if you can, it's different for me when I'm doing an inspection. So grills can't be on patios and decks, and they can't be within 10 foot of a structure. anything like that. That's ordinance, that's code, that's NFPA compliance.
So is that the state ordinance?
That is for commercial properties,
commercial
rental
properties.
anything like that.
But like, what about?
But for a homeowner, a residential homeowner, like I would take that into consideration too, because like, you know, you don't want to have your grill up on a deck up against the house, underneath of a covered porch and a roof awning. Because none of that makes any sense. You're gonna, if anything gets out of control or you're not paying attention, you're gonna start a fire. Mm-hmm. So if you can have your grill a little further away from the house, make sure you don't leave it unattended. It's just like in the kitchen. Pay attention to it. Keep with it.
Yeah.
You know, check your grease. Don't let kids and pets running around it.
Yeah.
It's still a hot surface. It could still get knocked over. So when you're grilling, have a good time, but pay attention. Keep it away from the structure, and be safe with it.
So once again, complacency. It's another thing. You just be mindful in what you're doing, and that can avoid a lot of those accidents, I guess. Okay, all right. And so you know we're approaching Independence Day the 4th. So a lot of times, you know, this time of year you'll have a cookout, and you know it'll get a little dark or something, and a couple fireworks or something here. You know, you want to kind of touch on fireworks safety at home and stuff.
Yeah. So fireworks can be a little touchy subject, but the good thing is we are very blessed with a beautiful city. Mm-hmm. We have like great landscape. We have old structures. But our properties are tight, and we have rules and regulations and ordinances on purpose. And that's to protect this beautiful city. It's protect people's private property. And so with that, if we're going to grill out, we're going to have fire pits, we're going to have fireworks, like we should follow those rules. Yeah. And by following those rules, basically you pretty much can't have it. You can't yourself have anything that is like that flies. So pretty much you can have anything that's on the ground or handheld, like a sparkler or something like that.
Okay, so like a fountain, like one of those little fountains.
Yeah, that you just sit on the ground.
And it just kind of, right. That's cool.
Yeah, that's okay. You're okay with stuff like that.
All right.
But you're not going to go to those tents that are out in the county.
And those mortars.
And you're going to have the mortars that are, 3, 4, 6-inch mortars that you're shooting off. Yeah. There is tons and tons of shows all around the bluegrass. Mm-hmm. There's shows here in the city of Frankfort. 4th of July weekend. There's tons of activities that are great for the family, great for our community that you can go to, and you get to see those big fireworks shows. Mm-hmm. And the VFW always puts on a fantastic show. They're partnering with the History Center this year. Mm-hmm. Like all that stuff that's going on, that is a fun time. They spend tens of thousands of dollars that you get to go for free.
So there you go. Yeah.
Like go do that stuff and leave those big fireworks to the professionals, because that's the fun stuff you get to see. Mm-hmm. And at home, just follow the ordinances, because you want to protect your property, your neighbor's property, city landscape, all that stuff. Let's just be smart and safe.
Okay. And so you kind of already touched on this, but like since the only aerial fireworks that are approved in the city are the ones like the big shows and stuff that are approved, and I'm sure you guys have a hand in that, like kind of what goes into, like from y'all's aspect, like what goes into you all approving those shows and like making sure that those go off in a safe manner. Right.
Yeah, those are it's a lot more complex than just like hey, can we shoot off some big fireworks? You're like, yeah man, do your thing. Yeah. So
sure, there's more to it than that.
So it's a fairly complex process. It's a lot of permitting, a lot of licensing. That's why it's, like I said, it's tens of thousands of dollars that private companies or VFW or whoever have to raise this money, get it, they pay for it. So they're bringing in these companies they have a licensed firework technician that they know what they have to do. They have regulations and rules and distances that they have to apply for. We have to make sure that they're a certain way from structures and trees and roads, and then you have to fill out all this paperwork, all this permitting. They have to get insurance liabilities. Okay. So all these things, they have to permit through the city, through the state. Mm-hmm. So it's a very long process, and that's why you don't, pay all the fees. You don't see a lot that go through that, and there's only a certain amount of times that you can even do this.
Okay.
So it's not something that is very easy or done very often. That's why it's usually around the 4th of July and it's one group. But if you go out, like I said, you can go to other shows if you wanted to see the big fireworks. But this is our show that is held in the capital city. And people love it. It's a great time. So I would say go to that, enjoy that.
You don't have to clean up. You don't have to be responsible for, the safety of all that stuff. All the thinking is done. So all you have to do is show up, set a chair out, and enjoy yourself.
Yep.
And that's it. Hey, that sounds great. That sounds great. I love it. So kind of moving along with, summertime, it's getting hot and stuff. Do you want to talk about like heat safety, like any recommendations? It's going to be hot the next couple of days, really humid, very hot. Any safety tips or recommendations on how to handle when it gets hot like that outside?
Yeah, absolutely. We are not just Frankfort Fire. We're Frankfort Fire and EMS. So we run the ambulance service, not for the city of Frankfort, but for the entirety of the county. So we aren't just coming up, you set a fire, we're coming up in case you're not feeling good. So we've had a good spring. It's been kind of dry here and there. We just got some good rain in, so I've enjoyed the spring. It's kind of been a cooler spring, but don't worry. Next week, summer's coming in.
I was about to say, it's here today.
Summer's coming in.
It's quite warm.
Yeah, but next week is technically summer.
Yeah, you're correct.
It's technically summer, and don't worry, I think she's coming.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a hot one.
I think it's going to be a hot one, too. So July and August ain't going to play games.
Yeah.
And so, basically, it goes across the board for any age, but really you want to focus on the older generation, like the older folks, the young kids. If you're going to be outside, make sure that you're doing work early in the morning, before the heat sets in, before the sun really is beaming down on you, late in the evening. If you're outside playing, those times, take many breaks.
Okay.
Don't overwork yourself. But then some of the stuff that you want to do, you want to kind of pay attention. So drink plenty of water. If you start running a fever, your skin gets, dry, kind of hot to the touch, or you get a headache, you get a rapid heart rate, nausea, vomiting, that's when you want to let us come do our job.
Okay, so
call
those
911.
are signs of like something.
Yeah, you can start to get into, a heat stroke or anything like that. So you really want to limit how much exertion you're really doing, and just kind of take it easy, especially when we start to get into them 90s and close to 100.
Okay.
Those kind of days that the heat will beat down on you. Make sure you wear sunscreen, stuff like that. Just paying attention out there.
Okay, and that's good. I mean, that's a good reminder as we're approaching summertime, and it's undoubtedly going to get hot. So that's good. Just make sure everybody stays cool, stays hydrated, and try to do that work in the morning and in the evening. I like it. Now to close this out, this is what I've been waiting for right here. What is the craziest story you have from your time as a fire marshal that you can tell on this podcast?
Well, see, that's the thing. Like I told you earlier, I'm in my 20th year as a firefighter. So I got like a lot of crazy stories.
I'm sure.
And I can't tell you them stories.
I'm sure there's some.
In the firehouse, I can tell a bunch of stories.
Yeah.
But I can't tell you a lot of stories. Now, as a fire marshal, I see some crazy stuff. And I still see some crazy stuff. But still some of the stuff I can't really tell all them stories. So I don't, I've been some cool places. I've seen some cool stuff. I get some behind the scenes things. But I don't know. Just them stories. Those are my stories.
Okay. What about can you tell me this?
I tell my wife stories.
Yeah.
And she gets those stories.
So how about this? Since we can't, get all these juicy stories, what is maybe the most interesting or weirdest fire, way a fire has started or something like that? Something people wouldn't expect that started a fire or something like that. Could you have anything like that? Maybe you could let us know.
So, we've had, I've had fires that have started just because, you'll get your electrical fires, you'll get your lightning strike fires, you'll get you've even had some. I've had some arson fires and
Oh.
crazy things like that. But as a fire marshal, the craziest stuff that I deal with, and I'm not calling anybody out. I'm not going to say anything, but the crazy stuff that I get are some of the phone calls I get, and it's not from our community. Okay, it's not from my people here in Frankfort.
Okay.
A lot of people think that the fire marshal for Frankfort Fire and EMS is the state fire marshal's office, and I am not. And so I'll just leave it at the craziest thing since I've been the fire marshal here for Frankfort is people think because we're the capital that I am the state fire marshal.
Everything.
And I call, and some people tell some crazy stories trying to get me to come help them. And it's some crazy stuff.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Crazy stuff.
Okay. So not a whole lot that you can, let us know about that. That's fine. That's good. But man, Marshall, we just thank you for coming and joining us today and for the important role you play in our community. We really appreciate that. So one more quick thing that I like, this is something that I like. We like to end each of our shows with a Frankfort rapid fire. So as a fellow Frankfortian, we want to hear some of your takes on our town. You say the first thing that comes to your mind, no explanation needed. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Okay.
All right, East or West Side Kroger?
Oh, West Side, because my boy Donald.
Okay, I'm not.
He's the manager. He used to
Okay.
be East Side. Now he's on West Side.
Okay, fair enough. Hey, fair enough. All right, best Mexican restaurant in town?
Casa.
Okay, classic, love it. Safest building in Frankfort?
Oh, that's currently is the old governor's mansion because they got Andy in there.
That's a good answer. And I've been in there, and that's a safe place. You're not getting in there.
They got it tight.
They don't want you in there. So I do agree with that. What is your favorite Frankfort event?
Oh, that would have to be Frankfort Fire Safety Night at the hospital.
Okay.
That's my event.
All right.
October, on Thursday night, I'll have the date. Y'all come on out.
Shameless plug.
Come on
I love it. And this is another good one right here. What is your favorite Frankfort landmark?
So it would have to be, like I love the Capitol building, but it's the old state Capitol building.
Okay.
Because I love coming down St. Clair, all the activities that go on the front lawn, that building. Even before I came to be the fire marshal here, I know there's no explanation, but like my wife is a huge ghost lover and all this stuff, and we took a tour inside there to see an old haunted chest of drawers that they had in there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's number 3 haunted object in the world.
What?
Yeah. They don't have it in the old state capitol right now. It's in the archives.
Really?
Yeah.
So you can move haunted stuff around?
Yeah, you just can't take the owl feathers out of the drawer.
Oh, God. Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds...
I'll have to tell you about it. It's
yeah,
crazy.
that sounds kind of wild.
Yeah.
That sounds kind of wild. Okay, well, hey, thank you. That's a popular spot. I wasn't thinking for that reason, but hey, that's a different perspective.
I love that building. It's a cool building.
A different perspective. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us this week, fellow Frankfortians. We'll catch you again next week on the City of Frankfort podcast. Don't forget to follow the City of Frankfort podcast on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And make sure you subscribe to our show feed on Podbean to get weekly episode notifications. Thank you.
Thank you.